I just generated 47 product ad variations in 20 minutes using Sora 2's API.
The morning begins here, the Paro funnel.
Every step should feel effortless.
Precision you can see, an automatic heart revealed in every movement.
This contoured pillow is shaped to cradle your neck and head, giving you the support you deserve.
Each one costs just 10 cents and looks like it was shot by a professional studio. I'm about to show you the exact n8n workflow that turns a simple product photo into scroll-stopping video ads automatically. And the secret? Everyone's prompting Sora 2 completely wrong. This prompt gets you garbage, and my 6-word prompt gets you gold. Let me show you why. So here's the workflow. I'm going to click execute. That brings up a form. I'm going to drop in an image that I just found from Amazon. Let's click open. Give it a first frame description. And a video prompt. With the prompts in, I'm going to hit submit. And that kicks off the workflow. Now, while this workflow is running, let me quickly give you an overview of what's going on. And then we'll look at each node in detail. So the entire workflow is 3 stages. Stage 1, we generate the first frame, where you get the product photo and your description, and you create an opening shot which Sora 2 is going to use to extrapolate and generate the video. And this is crucial because we're not sending Sora a raw product photo. The next stage is the video generation. We send that first frame to Sora 2 with the prompt, and it creates the motion, the cuts, and the cinematography. And finally, stage 3 is the cleanup and the output, where we delete any temporary files that we generated and output the link to the final video. So let's go through each node step by step. And if you want more step-by-step builds like this, hit subscribe. I break down practical AI automations every week. Alright, so the workflow is complete and the video is generated. Let's go ahead and dig into how this workflow is set up, and then we'll take a look at the final output. Everything starts with a form trigger node. To get this, you can click the plus icon, search for form, and drag this onto your canvas. The form has 3 fields: an image field, which is a file element. It can accept JPG and PNG files, and it's required. This is the starting image that we'll work with. The next field is the first frame description, which is the image generation prompt. It's a text area. And the last field is called video prompt, which is another text area, and this is the video generation prompt. Since this workflow is still in test mode, whenever I click execute, this form is automatically going to pop up. But if you wanted to expose this form to the web, you could make your workflow live and then just go ahead and grab the production URL from the form submission node. Next, we're going to upload the photo to Google Drive because we need to pass this photo to the image generation API. So we upload it to Google Drive. You need to have your credentials set up. This takes about 3 to 4 minutes to do. So if you haven't done it already, I'll leave a link in the description to a video tutorial. Make sure you have the correct parent drive and the parent folder chosen. And once that file is uploaded, we then need to share that file, because otherwise that file URL is not going to be accessible by the image generation API. For the file itself, select by ID and drag in the ID field from the left over here. Under permissions, make the role reader and make sure that the type is anyone. That's it. Next, now here is the first piece of magic. This LLM chain uses Anthropic Sonnet 4.5 to take those few words that we provided in the form and turn that into a perfect image generation prompt. And if you look at the system prompt down here, we'll see that for every prompt and image, we're asking Anthropic to think about what the product is, who is using it, how it's typically used, where it's typically used, and why it's typically used. And it extrapolates to fill in any missing details. Our LLM chain will need a brain, so we've connected a model. For now, I'm using OpenRouter, but you can use any powerful model like GPT 4.5, Gemini 2.5, Anthropic Sonnet 4.5, whatever works for you. I found that Anthropic works the best. So Claude is going to take that loose description, optimize it for image generation, and it fills in all of the gaps. Now, the better that our first frame is going to be, the better that end result video is going to be, which is why this step is incredibly crucial. Now that the prompt is ready, we're going to go ahead and generate that first frame using Gemini Nano Banana. I'm using OpenRouter, and I'm accessing OpenRouter through an HTTP request, which I can find by typing in HTTP and dragging an HTTP request over here. If you open this up, you'll see that it's a post request going to this URL on openrouter.ai. n8n lets you set up OpenRouter's credentials very easily. So choose predefined credential type, find OpenRouter under credentials, and then just go ahead and add your API key. It'll test it and automatically set everything up for you. We need to enable send body, and the body content type is JSON, and specify the body using JSON. Let's expand this, and you'll see that we're asking OpenRouter to use Gemini 2.5/image. We're providing the prompt over here, and we're also providing the image URL, which we got from Google Drive. So to find that URL, you can go to upload original image over here on the left, scroll down and find the web content link and drag that over here. This node's output isn't going to be an image per se, but it's going to be a bunch of characters called base64 encoding. So we need to clean this up and convert these characters into an image, which the next two nodes are going to do. So first, there's a code node, which just trims the first few characters off of that base64, leaving us with the actual image itself. And the next node is a move base64 to file node, where we're going to drag in this data that we got from the code node over here, give the output file a name, and under MIME type, make sure that you type in image/PNG. And this is going to result in that first image. Now we have to upload the newly generated image to Google Drive and then share that file just as we did earlier. And don't worry, when we get to the end of the workflow, we're going to delete both of these files in order to keep our Google Drive nice and clean. If you're following along and getting stuck on any of this, I have a school community where we do step-by-step build tutorials like this. So you can ask questions, get help from other builders, and access a growing library of resources. The link is in the description. So we're now ready for Sora, and this is where the magic happens. Let's see what we're sending to the API. So this is another HTTP request. If I double click this, you'll see that we're hitting this URL. I have my credentials saved as generic credential type. Choose bearer auth, and then go ahead and drop in your API key from key.ai. And I'll explain what key.ai is in just a second. We're sending a body. The body is Sora 2 image to video. That's the model. We have the prompt. The prompt is the original prompt that we put into the form. We don't need to make any changes to it. And the image URL is the last image that we uploaded to Google Drive. Under aspect ratio, choose portrait, and the quality is standard. This is fine. And using key.ai, which in fact uses OpenAI itself, the cost for generating a roughly 10-second video is just 10 cents. And at this point, you might be wondering, why use key.ai instead of the official OpenAI API? Now, even though key.ai is technically unofficial, I tried using this directly with the OpenAI Sora API, and I ran into a huge bug, and that which key.ai actually happens to solve. In order to generate a video from an image using the official Sora API, the image resolution has to exactly match the output video resolution. Now, getting an exact image resolution out of an AI image generator like Gemini is a little difficult, so I found it nearly impossible to match the output image resolution to the required video resolution. And I found that using key.ai actually does away with that step, so you could send key.ai a square image and still get a portrait video output. An added bonus is that key.ai actually gives you access to a lot of video generation APIs. So if you wanted to test this same workflow with different models, all you'd have to do is change the prompt and your entire workflow would still remain the same. So you can get your key.ai API key by logging into key.ai, signing up, adding some credits, going to the dashboard, and grabbing your API key from here. So once we send that generate video instruction to key.ai, we enter a bit of a loop where we have to wait for the video generation to complete because it takes around 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes even more, for a video to be generated. So once that initial command goes, we hit a wait node and we wait for 30 seconds before querying key.ai again using another HTTP request. This time it's a GET request going to this URL, and we need to send query parameters, and the query parameter is the task ID that we can get from here. So drag that over here. And by the way, this entire workflow JSON is available in the school community, so go ahead and check that out. Now, once we get that video status, that goes into a switch node, which checks what the status message is. So if this variable, json.data.state, is failed, that means the video generation failed. We give it an output name. If it's success, that means the video was successfully generated and it moves on to the next part of the workflow. If it's waiting, it means it's still in queue, so we have to go back to our wait node. If it's generating, it means Sora is working on the video. So it goes back into the wait node, waits another 30 seconds, and then checks again to see if the status is failed or completed. So waiting and generating go back into the wait node. Failed can go anywhere. You can send yourself an email, you can send yourself a message notifying you that the workflow has failed. And success then goes into another code node. Now we need a code node because the output that key.ai gives us is really jumbled up. So we need to extract only the URL from this output and then pass that on to the next part of our workflow. And that's what this simple code node does. So if we see the output of this code node, you'll see that it's the actual URL itself and nothing else. Finally, we delete the 2 files that we had uploaded to Google Drive earlier. And this last edit fields node just outputs that single URL and cleans up all the other data. So you can grab this URL and download it. You can upload this file to Google Drive. You can email yourself this file. You can send a Telegram message. Whatever you need to do, wherever this file needs to go, it is ready for you. So let's go ahead and download the file and check it out.
Meet the Slice Master 360. Its razor-sharp blade powers through crust with ease, and the textured handle keeps every cut steady. Cheese stays where it belongs, on the slice, not the board. Sharp.
So there is your completed workflow. Now let me give you the exact formula I use for these prompts so you can replicate this immediately. And remember, the secret is in the prompt. So there's 2 ways of doing this. Number 1, you can just specify in 3 to 4 words what the main benefits of your product are, and Sora 2 will take that and do the rest by itself. Another formula structure that you can use is who plus action plus emotion. Just 3 components, no more than 15 words. So if it was a toothpaste ad, it could be something like a man, refreshing breath, confident, before date. If it was running shoes, it could be something like athlete, testing grip, gym floor. If it was skincare, a woman applying serum, glowing skin, bathroom. So these 3 components help Sora to generate the best ad possible. So who tells Sora the demographic? The action is what exactly is the person doing? And the emotion transforms the demo into an ad. And that's what really sells that benefit. And if you need help customizing these prompts for your specific product category, that's exactly what we do in the school community. So we have one-on-one calls where I can look at your specific use case and help you dial in your prompts and your workflow. And again, the link is below. Finally, a few customization tips if you want to adapt this workflow. Right now, the outputs are fairly generic, but you can actually customize that image generation prompt to your exact niche to make that first frame more reflective of what your target audience wants to see. If you were selling skincare products, you could tell Claude to emphasize natural lighting, emphasize skin texture, use a bathroom setting more often. And the more specific you make this to your niche for that first frame, the better your ultimate Sora 2 output is going to be. So now you have a complete system for generating professional product videos for just 10 cents each. You understand the 2-stage generation strategy, Gemini plus Sora. You have a prompting formula, and you have the exact n8n workflow to automate the entire process. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, and do remember to subscribe for more AI and automation content. Drop a comment below with what product category you're most excited to try this with. I read every comment and I try to reply to each one as well. Thanks for watching.